All right, welcome to Con Carne. I'm James Van Ostel. Con Carne is presented by Alex Ross Art. Alex Ross, one of the all-time legends in comics and graphic novels. If you've never seen Alex Ross's work, go to alexrossart.com. See how he transforms these DC and Marvel superheroes and villains into characters you believe are real. Characters you believe could walk into Dante's Pizza off of Armitage Avenue in Chicago. That's how lifelike his work is. And Alex Ross has a YouTube page. He'd like you to subscribe, and here's Alex to tell you about that.
Hi, this is Alex Ross. I appreciate you guys supporting our YouTube, and we create new content every week. I hope you will continue to support us, and please subscribe.
It's Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Ostel.
All right, this is an awesome return from Blind Adam and the Federal League. Joining me in the car today, to my right, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, it is the titular Blind Adam. In the back seat, we have Nick and Alex, Federal Leaguers. Nice to have you all together.
Hey.
Adam, this is long overdue. The last time we sat down together in a car in close quarters was pre-pandemic. I mean, you've been on the podcast a couple times since, but this is long overdue.
Yeah, absolutely. That was March of 2019, I believe.
No, I think it must have been 18. No, it was 19. It was 19.
Yeah, it was when we put the Mansions on the Boulevard 7-inch out. And we did the release party at Two Brothers out in Aurora, and
the Roundhouse.
Yeah, that was a different time.
It was a different time. So we are here right outside Dante's on Armitage. You said, you know what, if we're going to go for food, we should go to Dante's. You have a history with this place. I have a history. I've been to this place for this podcast half dozen times. It's amazing. But why did you pick Dante's?
So Dante's has been a place that, you know, when there was the location over by Crown Liquors, we would hang out and grab slices at Dante's, and then there was the tavern in Humboldt Park for a while, and our old friend Tim, who plays in Canadian Rifle, has been very supportive of whatever projects we have, music or otherwise, and our old buddy Mike Popek that was working at the Dante's at the tavern at the time when COVID really first kind of got into really into the swing of things, and we realized we were going to be at home for longer than we had expected. We turned the band basically into like a mutual aid project, and we talked about that, and our friend Jeff Schaller Jeff and I started a mutual aid project called the People's Pizza Party, and Dante's partnered with us, and they would give us a big discount, and like they would run a special slice, the Solidarity Slice, and funds from that would go towards the project, and we would bring pizza and like survival supplies to folks that were living in the homeless encampments around like the northwest side of Chicago primarily, and we did that for a little over 2 years, almost every single week. And Dante's was our partner in that the whole time.
I love it. What kind of slice did you get?
I got 2 slices of pepperoni pizza because I didn't know if I wanted to or if someone else might need one. So,
yeah, the Federal Leaguers are on a weight loss plan in the back seat.
Yeah,
we got to go on tour.
Yeah,
soon. We got to shape up.
We're going on tour with 7 Seconds of Bouncing Souls. It's like
and Catbite is very energetic, so we need to make sure we can keep up with them.
Right.
Yeah, all right. So we'll get to the tour because you're hitting the East Coast soon as we're recording this. What's most important to mention right now, the new album is out. It is available. It's just like a TV talk show, isn't it?
Yes.
Here we go.
We actually made an infomercial for it, too.
The Fields We Know is the new one from Blind Adam and the Federal League. The cover is awesome. The music is awesome. And I want to get into that. Before we do Blind Adam and the Federal League, Adam, I want to talk to you because you have this interesting life. You are a musician. You write these great, super catchy songs, but you are full-on committed to social justice. It's all I see in your social feeds. It's all I see you doing in practice. It's almost like that's your full-time concern to the point where I can't believe you have time to work music into it.
Yeah, I have been very involved in activism since I was very young. I have a degree in political science, international relations, and I double majored in history at Illinois State University. And I consider myself my personal political philosophy. I would say I'm an anarcho-socialist, and I've done a lot of time thinking about that and reading about that and ideas.
Now, I'm going to stop you there because
Sure.
I don't know if I really know what that means, and I think people watching or listening might hear that, and that might be a scary thing to hear. Like, what is an anarcho-socialist?
So, anarchist political philosophy, I think, is very greatly misunderstood. People think of anarchy as like chaos and disorder, and
This is anarchy.
yeah, and anarchy.
I think of it as, okay, let's go to Dante's and light it on fire.
Absolutely not. Dante, more of an anarchist philosophy about Dante's would be, let's not have a single owner. Let's make the workers co-equal. Have a democratic like ownership process. No, basically you can get rid of hierarchy, use consensus building, problem-solving strategies, and support community with mutual aid and community defense rather than, rely on systems that continue to fail us anyway. And you'd see in any major disaster anywhere over the last 100 years, any big labor movement, the civil rights movement, whatever it might be, feminist movements for queer liberation, whatever, there's always the people that are really pushing it are usually anarchists and socialists and people that have really done a lot of time thinking about why things are the way they are and how to build the kind of world that we would like to live in. How to live in a world where people aren't suffering needlessly.
For the federal leaguers in the back seat, are these topics an equal passion point for you? I mean, obviously you're on board with Adam, but I mean, are you passionate about causes, community service, supporting?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, don't have the time as much, or not. I wouldn't say time, but during 2020 was, a lot easier with, not working, to be able to be in the streets and support, all the uprisings that were going on, or any sort of protest movement, or anything of that nature. But still, definitely prescribe to everything that Adam just said.
Like, as an adult, my entire life has been crisis after crisis
Sure.
after crisis. And how do we make it stop? Like, it's not about me personally. I'm a middle-class white dude, right? But I have empathy, and I care about my community. I care about people that don't have what I have, who didn't have the education I have. Like, we all should be able to have equal opportunities to do the things that we want to do in life, whether that's pursuing art like we do, whether that's being an educator, whatever it is.
Just being able to go to the doctor.
Being able to go to the doctor. Like, we can't, like, honestly, I need to get my tooth pulled, and I can't, because
and the more you
it's
look
going to
into
cost me $1,200.
The more you look into it too, it makes no sense to me that people have a kind of negative outlook on it. You want everyone to exist and to do what they want to do and be healthy and be safe and be cordial and friendly, and it's it just makes sense overall as
Right.
a kind of a a way to view your life, or a way to live your life.
And just a sidetrack real quick, we can help with the tooth. We can get a bottle of Malort's. Listen, I have a car.
He's got
We'll get a string. We'll tie it around the tooth. And I'll just floor the motherfucker. And perfect. Yeah,
I would love that.
I'm here to. That's my socialized health care for you. I'm here to help. But as we talk about these things, it segues perfectly into how the new album, The Fields We Know, begins. The very first words we hear on this album: "We may not live long enough to see the world we've been dreaming of." And that's exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah, and that was basically paraphrasing a quote from Emmanuel Tortuguita, who was murdered by the Atlanta State Police, the Atlanta Bureau, or the Georgia State Police, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, or the Atlanta Police in the protest movement to stop Cop City, which is like a multi-billion-dollar, basically like a militarized police training facility that they're trying to uproot and destroy an ancient old-growth forest that provides a ton of oxygen. It cleans the air. It's a carbon sink. It's one of the most precious natural places in the city of Atlanta, and people are fighting against it. It is They've voted against it. They've filed petitions against it. They've protested against it. There have been a diversity of tactics used, and you could be sitting on the ground with your hands up and be shot 57 times or 60, however many times, and killed. And one of the things that they said, that Tortuguita said, not like 2 weeks before they died, before they were murdered, was that they may not live long enough to see the world that they're fighting for, but they're going to fight for it anyway, and they've accepted the fact that if you are really in the struggle trying to build that better world, there's a good chance that you will die a revolutionary death.
As you have this worldview of we can work to make things better, what do you say to someone who might be cynical or jaded? What would you say to me, who thinks, oh my God, the world is so fucked, I don't see us ever pulling ourselves out of this?
Well, you're still here then.
It's very easy to feel defeated.
Absolutely. I mean, I do most days. But, you can get together with people you care about and do something that feels important and good. And when you think about your community and you think about what the people around you might need and what you can provide, and then also realize that there are things that you need that you might need to ask for help for and be willing to do that, that is a very simple and not quite thorough definition of mutual aid, but we have to be willing to give what we can and take what we need from people that are willing to give that to us.
Back to the song. There's kind of a 90s vibe to this one. They're like, am I hearing that?
So Alex and Nick basically, there's a good story about this. When we went to the studio, we recorded with Pete Steinkoff, from the guitar player from the Bouncing Souls, out in Asbury Park, New Jersey. It was really cool. It was a dream come true to work with him, and we showed up and we had most of 7 songs written, sort of. We had stuff that we still needed to finish writing, and they were like, hey, we got music for another one. And I was kind of pissed. I was like, I don't even have lyrics for these 7.
We did have a melody though,
and
a little bit.
Yeah, and
we had a guideline.
And then so we set up and played it for Pete, and I was kind of being a sourpuss about it, and
Sure were.
I was like, I don't know about this. We got to finish the other songs. And Pete was like, no, you got to finish all of these plus this one too. This is part of it now. and
Thanks, Pete.
Shout out, Pete.
And we did.
Always believed in us.
And so Alex and Nick can tell you more about the sound of that song.
Specifically, I didn't give the name of the song. It's The Sower.
The Sower, yeah.
I talked about the lyrics, but I didn't say the name of the song. Again, here's the album.
Well, we got together in my apartment, realizing we need at least 1 or 2 more, just to even if we don't use them, just to have some more ideas for the record. And should we say how it actually came to fruition?
I mean,
please.
Yeah. So we were like, well, the song "Yellow" by Coldplay is a masterpiece.
That's why we laughed when you said 90s.
Yeah. We're like, how do we make a song like that, but that is also in
seriously
our style of music?
Yeah, no. So in 2020 during the pandemic, I started learning piano again after years of not playing it. And one of the songs I learned through whatever app I had to teach me songs was "Yellow" by Coldplay, and I was like, this song actually fucking rules. This song is legitimately a good song, and we shit on Coldplay so much, as we should, but that song, incredible, and that intro to that song, very much so the intro to "Yellow."
Yeah, so
we just wrote the anarchist version.
Yeah, it's the guitar bends, the kind of discordant guitar that's just building up the whole time. We're like, that is so cool.
Some of the guitar stuff you do in that song reminds me of My Chemical Romance.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so it was taking a lot of influence from songs that we probably never in our entire musical careers have ever taken influence from, and then it turned into this 90s-y skate punk doo-wop, kind of song. And I don't know, I think it worked out. Yeah. I think it worked out great.
I think Pete was the one who's like, why don't we just keep changing from double time to halftime the entire song back and forth?
I love it.
And to me, it's it's not quite jarring, but it's enough that it's oh, now we're going fast again. Cool. I'm gonna go in a circle pit. No, now we're slow again. Now we're gonna bop our heads a little bit, and it's
And you got to start an album with a big intro.
Yeah.
And just having a big intro.
I think sequencing is so important when making an album.
We thought a lot about that one.
Oh yeah.
We thought a lot about sequencing with this record.
Yeah, you have to, and even the sides on the record make sense to me. The way you split it in half. That's hilarious. But you mentioned doo-wop. That's an interesting thing about Blind Adam and the Federal League. These songs are songs you can sing along to. These are songs that you can sing along to at the bar with your friends. But these aren't like typical sing-along songs. Like lyrically, I kind of like songs that kind of trick you.
I mean, we're not like Crass. Like
No.
You know, it's
No,
like
there was
we
a
write.
lot of-
We're writing shit Crass would write, but we're making it palatable to the common man. Like you could play this shit on the radio if you wanted.
Oh.
It won't, but they could.
Well, you're going to play a song when we're all done talking and Adam finishes his multiple slices of pizza.
Hell yeah.
A song called Before It Gets Better. I worked on the radio for a couple decades. That's a song that could be played on the radio.
And that's like a literal doo-wop song.
That's the radio
It
song,
has-
but it's still
it has,
that
like-
song is still like that. Every song on this record was very like we were very intentional. Excuse me. Thank you, Dante's about like these songs, like the Sower. That the name of that song was from the Octavia Butler book, The Parable of the Sower, and the second half of the chorus is actually a Gandalf quote. Uproot evil in the fields we know. So
I
those
wish
that
that
come.
wasn't
You know what I
true.
feel like
I
we
wish that
should
wasn't
work
true.
this
So
out.
I feel like you guys should do what the Mekons used to do in the 1980s and provide like an appendix.
Like liner notes.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
Well, we have liner notes,
for all
but
the
yeah,
references.
like
you are
footnotes.
our liner notes, James. That's like that's why we're doing this.
That's right.
But every Meet Me at George Floyd Square is a song that was like we were very intentional about the lyrics on that, and the voiceover in the bridge, Marsha Howard, is one of the coolest activists I've ever met in my life. She's an amazing community member in like right there at George Floyd Square. We met her the first time we went there, and I was like sending her the lyrics the whole time and being like, "What do you think about this? Is this cool? How about the music?" And she's like, "This is cool. It sounds like a Green Day song, and it says everything we want to say." And you know, like that's to me, I don't want to write for In These Times. I don't want to be a journalist or a professor or whatever, but I want to use this is our thesis. You know, we've always had a couple political songs in every record, but like The Fields We Know is like that's the term paper right there. That's the thesis statement.
Well, let's talk about Before It Gets Better. Is that your wife?
Yes, I got married just over a month ago. I got my wedding ring on here. And yeah, Jessica Jessica helped write that song, and I was kind of bouncing a lot of these ideas off her.
I love her voice on this. Like it's a
Thank
nice
you.
count. I'm a sucker for songs that have shared male-female vocals or traded off vocals like that. I love the way this song comes off. Huge hook. Like I said, you could hear this on the radio. Lyrically, it could get worse before it gets better. If it does, I'll be by your side. A little bit of a romantic side to Adam.
Yeah, absolutely, and absolutely, and you know, there's lines in the song like that song is about community. It's about romantic love. It's about loving your friends, the people around you. And
Oh, yeah, come on over.
Yeah, exactly.
Any
like,
relationship, it's just
this
straight
world
up-
is
yeah.
like you were saying earlier. How do you avoid despair? That's how. But like it,
That's it.
you know.
And those are keyboards I'm hearing on that sound really good, right?
That's Mark Maysfield. Mark is another Asbury, New Jersey guy, Asbury Park, New Jersey, friend of Pete's. When we were working with Pete, we were talking like some of these songs could maybe use some keys, and Pete's like, "I got a guy," and he plays for Dave
House,
yeah, Dave House and the Mermaid. And Pete sent him the songs, and he was like, "I love these songs. Send me $200," and you know, like a couple
We had
hours
him
later,
yeah.
Yeah, like that
Like
day.
that day, yeah.
He sent us
That's
that.
And then we're like,
amazing.
we don't like that, and he sent us another version like immediately. Like, here, how about this one?
yeah.
That's amazing. Thinking of the different sounds and styles you incorporate, one for the bootlickers, it almost has like an Irish folk sound.
That's very intentional. So I grew up, my family is like kind of Irish, a little Polish, you know, South Side Chicago, and I grew up loving Irish rebel music, IRA music, all those songs, solidarity songs for sure, and I love playing that kind of music, and I have a real, the song is called One for the Bootlickers. You go to like a Dropkick Murphys show, and those guys are like, you know, kind of leftist. They put out an anti-fascist Woody Guthrie record about 2 years ago, and they've always been like very pro-union, and a lot of their fans though are like right-wing, like MAGA people, like thin blue line flag waving people, and proud members of the Proud Boys, whatever. And like there's Ken Casey has like gone off on stage and yelled at them and like told them to beat it, and but yeah, like those people don't deserve that music, and that song, I want that song like to appeal to them sonically, and then when they hear the lyrics, I want them to be very upset about it.
We Are Everywhere, which is by far the loudest and heaviest song on the album. So much
that we've
so
ever done, probably. As this
so
band.
much so it's kind of an outlier on the album.
And it's like the first song on side 2, so you go from the like Irish folk song, like the Pogsy kind of song, or Foggy Molly, whatever. You flip it over, and then you hear like.
Where did that come from? Because again, it's not what I was expecting.
Are you familiar with Ty Daikima? Ty is from Grand Rapids. He's like the coolest punk rock disability activist I've ever met. Maybe that has ever existed. If you don't know Ty, we'll make sure you meet sometime. But
Cool.
Ty posted a video of like in Grand Rapids they got the electric scooters like we have here, but people are just leaving them all over the sidewalk, which makes it very hard for a person in an electric wheelchair to get around. And the video was of, I don't know who it was, but it was some hardcore band, and Ty was just running these scooters over with his wheelchair, and I was like, I had just smoked
That's
a joint,
awesome.
and I was pretty stoned, and I was like, this is a song right here. We need to write like a very, like, there needs to be like a very hard hitting disability song. And so I was like, I hit up Ty about the idea, and we kind of started trading lyric ideas. And then our friend Beck Graham from the Quirk, and she also plays, they also play in Bong Mountain, wrote the hook, like basically the big sing-along part at the end. And yeah, and that song is also super fun to play live.
I bet. All right, so as we're recording this in mid-November of 2023. The album is out. Next month, you're hitting the East Coast with Bouncing Souls?
Yeah, that's crazy. We're doing 12 shows.
12 days, yeah.
And you have so much history with the band.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
we covered that years ago when we first met.
recap, Brian Keeneland, the bassist from the Bouncing Souls, the one that gave me the nickname Blind Adam, but that's a whole other story. Find the old podcast episodes.
Yes.
But yeah,
500 episodes ago.
we tried to do a tour with them. They tried to take us on the road last year, and we did the 3 shows in Chicago, and James was able to come. You came out to one, and they were great. And then we had 1 day off. We played Detroit, and then they called us up, and they said, someone from Pew 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 has COVID. You guys should test. And one of our people on our party tested positive, and the next day, like 4 of us tested positive. And that sucked.
Yeah.
But they're taking us back out,
I love it.
and we're playing some really cool venues. They're like, that was like more of a small club tour. These are like really nice venues. We're playing like Webster Hall in New York, and Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville. We're playing the Orange Peel, where Smashing Pumpkins did a residency.
With
And this-
7 seconds. And with,
7 seconds and Catbite.
Strike Anywhere.
Yeah, Pie Tasters are
Pie
playing some
Tasters
new
are on a
shows.
show.
And these are Catbite is a newer band, but they're really coming up and doing a lot of cool stuff right now. But like a lot of these other bands on this tour are like our favorite bands
Sure.
growing up, and this is literally, I feel like I'm 38 years old. I've been playing in bands since I was 14. I feel like a double-A ball player that's getting called up to the big leagues.
That's the way
Crash Davis.
it's supposed to still be exciting and fun and
It is.
thrilling. Yeah.
It is. I
Well-
just got a bad back now.
And again, the new album is right here. It is The Fields We Know
On Bipolar Records.
on Bipolar Records, of course. Great cover, cool album. You heard us talking about the songs. That said, one of the hardest things about doing a podcast that is largely featuring music, guys, is describing music. You can't ever describe it to the point where people totally understand what they're hearing. You brought guitars, and you're going to play a song from the album, which I think is so cool. You're going to play the hit.
Yeah, Before It Gets Better is we put it out as a single. The whole thing was kind of rushed because of circumstances we can get into some other time. But we got picked up by Bipolar kind of at the last minute while the record was already in production, and it was like I was getting married, the house flooded, a million things happened all at once, and we made it happen. And we've had a really good response. People seem to really like that song and the album so
love it.
far.
It's such a no-brainer. I love it. All right, so we've got a classical guitar on this one. Hey, have you done this acoustic before?
Not this song. We have never played.
Not together. Adam's played it a bunch.
I've played it a few times solo, but yeah, it's different when you have the accompaniment
And I don't play acoustic guitars, so this will be
Oh, this is good.
this will be different.
Mark this. We're making history here.
Yeah.
no pedal board for
No
Nick.
pedal board for me. So I gotta actually play guitar. I can't just make noises with my feet.
You can't hide behind your tricks.
No.
That's all we got is tricks.
All right. Well, let's get you finishing your pizza We'll break this down. We'll move some microphones around. We'll get some guitars in the car. Thank you guys for chatting and eating.
Yeah,
Of course.
thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Dante's.
All right, we are rolling, gentlemen.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll leave my porch light on, so when you feel alone, you can come on up to the house. Yeah, there'll be food to share and music in the air. There'll be loved ones all around. Well, it's been so hard and it's been so long. We've got a long, long way to go. I'll be by your side through the darkest night and the brightest tomorrow. It could get worse before it gets better. If it does, I'll be by your side and we'll get through it together. So just dance with me tonight. When the workday's done, we can sing the songs to tomorrow and days gone by. Yeah, we'll raise a glass to all those that have passed, those that showed us how to fight. And when the night slows down and our friends clear out, we can turn our song about. I'll put your hand in mine, it may not change the tide, but we'll live a life that makes us proud. It could get worse before it gets better. If it does, I'll be by your side and we'll get through it together. So just dance with me tonight. I'll leave my porch light on, so when you feel alone, you can come on up to the house. It could get worse before it gets better. If it does, I'll be by your side and we'll get through it together. So just dance with me tonight. Yeah, just dance with me tonight. Yeah, just dance with me tonight. Hey! All right. I think that was all right.
I think that was pretty good.
That was awesome.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Nice job, guys.
Cool, so we'll
Thank
go.
you. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.